So you guys got your ice rink.
And then people said, oh, you're hell no, I'm not a local. And so the clock starts kind of, all the people in the bus are angry, having this like kind of fight.
Change any Wi-Fi settings or anything in the last couple weeks, did you?
We signed on to making an express.
Red light.
And so then the whole boss
connected
is
to
starting
the
to figure
internet.
out how they're going to manage.
Internet, you can change
Like, where are you parked? I'll drive you to this spot.
You're
And you
not
drive me. I'll take it. And this place is nuts.
Yours isn't working, Charlie?
And then we got to my uncle was waiting for us like at 1 a.m. Because that's
Good evening, everyone.
Got a little
Right
delay.
before we have our re-elected mayor here convene the meeting to order, we're going to begin with just a brief order of business. We're going to administer oaths of office real quick to our re-elected officials, and then we'll have them call the meeting to order and proceed with welcoming a new council member this evening. So, to start at the top, Mayor Minor. Raise your right hand.
Hi, Charlie Miner.
Do
Do
solemnly
solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and that I will continue to faithfully and impartially
and that I will continue to faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
of Honorable Mayor for the City of Long Lake
of Honorable Mayor for the City of Long Lake
in the County of Hennepin,
in the County of Hennepin,
the State of Minnesota,
State of Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
If you would please sign, and congratulations
Great.
on your reelection.
Great, thank you.
What's that?
I said, oh, so he did win.
He did. We get to keep him. And Councilmember Feldman, if you would please raise your right hand and please state after me. I, and your name,
I'm Mike Feldman.
do solemnly swear or affirm
Do solemnly swear and affirm.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I'll support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and that I will continue to faithfully and impartially
and I'll continue to faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
of City Council Member for the City of Long Lake
for City Council Member of City of Long Lake,
in the County of Hennepin,
County of Hennepin,
the State of Minnesota,
State of Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
best of my judgment and ability.
If you would please sign,
All right.
and congratulations again on your reelection. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great, all right, so I can go ahead and,
You can sign that later. It's
all
okay.
right, be good.
Thank you.
All right, with that, I'll go ahead and call to order the meeting of the Long Lake City Council. It's January 7th, 2025, at 6:33 PM. And we have a great turnout tonight in the audience for those that are at home watching, so appreciate the great turnout from Long Lake residents. We have some Orono residents in the community, in the audience, who came to support some new council member, newcomer here that we'll talk about in a minute. So appreciate everybody's attendance. So item A tonight is the oath of office to incoming Long Lake City Council member Todd Newcomer. And we'll have City Clerk Mueller help out with that and administer the oath and kind of take it from here.
Third time's the charm. Stand right over here, sir. Okay, before the speech. Please state after me. I, and state your name,
I, Todd Newcomer,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
of City Council Member for the City of Long Lake
of City Council Member for the City of Long Lake
in the County of Hennepin,
in the County of Hennepin,
the State of Minnesota,
State of Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and abilities.
Welcome aboard. And you may officially take your seat.
Thank you.
Great. Do we want to do any special photos now beforehand,
You
or?
certainly can if you would like. Go ahead. For anyone who would like to have a photo opportunity, please do. Scott, do you have your phone on you? Maybe you want to.
No, we don't have a photo opportunity. Where should we stand? Down the front? How about we get the entire council down? In front?
That would be lovely.
Okay, let's do that. Do a combination.
My mom would be smiling.
Yes, I'd like to be next to you. The shortest.
Couple steps over.
This might be my favorite photo of the council in a while.
Be a Christmas tree.
Thank you very much.
I'll email them to you. Okay.
All right. We'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I almost forgot about the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I didn't forget that. All right, I'm working on some IT issues here that are plaguing me at the moment, so give me just a second here to pull up some notes. Let's see here. Disconnect from that.
Mayor Minor, if it won't, I can check and see if it'll interfere with the live stream and see if I can reboot if you would like. I don't know if anybody else is connected.
I have internet.
I have internet.
You
It's
do,
working for you,
okay.
yeah, I don't know what to do
Okay.
with my phone here, so.
Thank you for troubleshooting, everyone. I appreciate it.
I apologize here, what is going on? Problems with both of my devices at the moment. There we go. Okay, so I'll start out with item 3, which is mayor comments. So again, welcome. We have a great turnout here tonight. Appreciate the first meeting of the year. Hope everyone had a happy holidays. We haven't met since the 17th of December, so we've had Christmas in between and New Year's, and hopefully everybody had a nice chance to spend some time with family and or friends during the holidays. Got a little colder around here, and time of the year for that. Christmas, or I guess it was a white Christmas, now it's turning a little brown, but definitely feels festive. Restaurants have been busy. I know a lot of people have been visiting restaurants during the holiday time, so good to see folks out visiting our restaurants in town here, as well as Ace Hardware and some other retail outlets. Thanks go out to the Long Lake Fire Department. On Saturday, the Long Lake Fire Department fought a fire at a barn in Medina, on Keller Drive in Medina on Saturday morning. It was pretty cold out that day. I believe the structure was a total loss. I spoke with Chief Highland, and he indicated that the business owner or homeowner just kind of said, let it burn, so to speak. Didn't want to put any firefighters in harm's way fighting that fire any longer than it needed to. So we appreciate all the work that the Long Lake Fire Department did for that fire on Saturday. On a related note, our thoughts are with the Long Lake Fire Department and Captain Paskowitz and his wife DJ, and particularly their 9-year-old son Weston. So Weston was recently diagnosed with leukemia here in the last, week or so, and is being treated at M Health Fairview Masonic Children's Hospital for his ailment. So I know the entire Long Lake Fire Department is standing behind Weston and Captain Paskowitz, and so are we as a community. There's a lot of resources out there, ways to help. Lots of information right now on social media, whether it be our City of Long Lake Facebook page, Long Lake Fire Department Facebook page, And there's links to a Caring Bridge site for Weston, as well as a GoFundMe page. So keep Weston and his family in your thoughts and prayers, please. So those are some updates about what's occurring since our last meeting. With that, we'll move on to item number 4, which is to approve this evening's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
All right, thank you. A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries unanimously. Item 5 is the consent agenda. We have items A through E on the consent agenda this evening. Any questions for staff regarding items on the consent agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve this evening's consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
And I will second that. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 6 is, and I should mention, item 5E there is the authorizing the hiring of a seasonal part-time worker for Holbrook Park. So I appreciate staff putting that together, and I assume we'll be, after it's been approved now, we'll be putting that on listserv or kind of publicizing that opening.
Correct.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, item 6, open correspondence. Open correspondence is an item on the agenda during which the public may address the city council. No formal action is taken by the city council, and comments shall be limited to 5 minutes or less. Does anyone wish to approach for open correspondence this evening? No takers? Are you sure, Brian? All right, is there any submitted open correspondence?
Nothing, thank you.
Okay. All right, with that, we'll move on to item 7A, regular business. 7A is presentation of annual holiday decorating contest winners. So this is something that we do every year on an annual basis, and I'm still having computer problems, so is this something you'll be able to project?
See my note.
You can do it right there? Oh, excellent. All right, thank you, Jeanette.
We'll see if this one works. This one should work.
Ah, there it is. Nice. All right, so this is a tradition that Mayor Marty Schneider started before my time. But I've tried to carry it on as best as we can. I think we took a little pause during one of the COVID years. So a great event to bring out kind of the community and get folks decorating their homes during the holidays. So next slide, please. There's 2 categories for this. The Clark Griswold category, which is defined as excessive use of outdoor lighting and funny elements. And there's the nostalgic category, which is old-fashioned or reminds you of your childhood. We've kind of kept those same definitions for several years. All right, next, please. Thank you to our judges. Every year this is kind of headed up by Anita Secord, who's on our planning commission, as well as our Lone Lake Garden Club. And this year we had judges. Judges included Erica Leachman, who is also on our park board, as well as her partner Grayson Hiddle. And my understanding is their daughter, I think it was, helped out quite a bit too. So thank you to our judges. They went around on a certain night, about a week or so before Christmas, and visited the homes and did the judging. Next slide, please. So first one, Clark Griswold category, again, excessive use of outdoor lighting and funny elements. Go on to the next slide, please. 4th place is Todd Doolin from 1984 Kennedy Lane. So I should mention we had a few regular attendees, or a few folks that signed up as they normally do every year, and we had a couple of, or at least, we had two new entrants this year. Todd has competed before, and he has a nice presentation both out his home and to the yard that's sort of on the west side of his home there. So it looks festive, and great work by Todd on that one. All right, next. So new entrant this year was Carrie Rago, 323 Green Hill Lane, and Carrie got 3rd place. So more of a kind of a combination there of some inflatables and different lights on the house and things in the yard and things like that. So great job, Carrie, in 3rd place. All right, next, 2nd place. So Brett Osvolden, from 266 DuPont Street. So Brett does great. Every year his inflatables seem to get larger and larger. I don't know how that happens, if it's a more powerful motor on his blower or if he actually gets larger inflatables there. But wide range of inflatables, and then you can't really see the lights going up and down his driveway, the kind of the candy cane lights that go up and down there, and really just lights up the neighborhood there. And I was talking to them when I gave out some awards or prizes that I'll talk about in a second, but Brett and his wife said that one night there was a knock on the door on, I think it was a Friday night, and they opened up the door and there's a bunch of carolers, and it was a bunch of girls from, I believe it was a soccer team, from Orono soccer team, that began caroling at their doors and singing to them. And they're like, well, why did you come here, out of curiosity? And they said, well, we came here because of your yard looks so festive and has all the great decorations. We figured you'd be in the mood for some caroling. So that was neat to hear that story. And great job by Brett and his wife. And they also, I know a couple days after I gave them, or on Christmas Eve, they went to Lone Lake Assisted Living and helped spend some time with those in the assisted living. I believe they brought some gifts to them as well, even though they don't know anybody who lives in the Lone Lake Assisted Living. They've gotten to know some of the residents there, so that was neat to hear that Brett and his wife do that as well. All right, so last but not least, of course, first place, Roger Adams, perennial winner from 1130 Underhill Circle. You know, and this picture doesn't really do it justice either, because there's a garage, a detached garage off to your left, and he's got lights all over the garage as well as things on kind of all around the house. Roger and his wife Cindy invested in some new kind of permanent lighting on the eaves of their home over the summertime. So it sounds like they can change them purple for the Vikings or whatever they want to do, and I think that helped put them over the top this year in this competition. So that's neat there. They did a great job again to Roger and Cindy. All right, in the next category, nostalgic, old-fashioned, reminds you of your childhood. We did just have one entry in this competition this year. Maybe, I don't think the rules aren't necessarily hard and fast, so maybe next year, maybe one of the Clark Griswold folks can mix it up a bit and go for this category. So we had one entrant here, and was Mike Ellis at 1860 Watertown Road, that got first place and did a nice kind of mix of mostly lights and a few inflatables in his yard. Jim Benson was a perennial entrant as well, and I had heard that he agreed to kind of voluntarily took this year off so you give somebody else a chance to win. So he had normally won first place in this category, so we appreciate Jim doing that. So first place went to Mike Ellis. All right. Next slide. So thank you to the sponsors. We had the most sponsors ever. We had the most gifts ever. All of our local, major local dining restaurants participated this year, and so the Red Rooster in particular gave a couple of really big gift cards, as did the other restaurants along with Gopher Ace and our two liquor stores as well, Lakeside and Liquor Barn. So I know the contestants were pleased to get those and hopefully spending their gift cards there. Yes, so thanks to their sponsors. And one more slide, I think. Oh, and then just wanted to always doesn't complete the holiday season without having a picture of our holiday tree lighting celebration that we have at Holbrook Park each year. So this was on December 6th. Photo taken there. We've got Councilmember Qualley there and Councilmember Newcomer there, and Mr. and Mrs. Claus, and a few members of the Lone Lake Fire Department, along with, I think, one of our residents' dog there in the front. So great turnout there as well, and they did a really good job lighting up the side of the engine there, as you can see. So great, thanks for that, and punting with the IT there, Jeanette. It turned out well. All right, so move on to item 7B. This is our annual city appointment process. So probably just take us maybe 15 minutes to go through this and determine what our positions will be for this year. Item 7B, as I said, in their packet. So did you want to kick this off a little bit, Jeanette?
Sure, I'd be happy to do that. And actually, I know it's a long list. Would you like me to just kind of go through a review of all the different positions and then we can start top to bottom, or would you like to discuss each one as we go?
Why don't you do a quick overview and then maybe mention while doing that, we added a couple of positions. this
Okay,
year.
okay. So we'll start top to bottom here. I'll kind of hit the bullet points of each position. We'll start with Mayor Pro Tempore. That essentially is a member of the council who is appointed to serve in the capacity of mayor in the event that the mayor is unavailable to be present at a meeting, or should you be out of the country on vacation having a wonderful time, if we need someone to be here signing checks in your absence. Typically we yield to the mayor to make his selection. Mayor Minor has selected Councilmember Dyvek to continue serving as Mayor Pro Tem, so we've automatically pre-filled that into the appointments worksheet. Next up, Fire Advisory Committee. Fire Advisory Committee is comprised of staff and elected officials from Long Lake, Orono, and Medina. Currently, Long Lake Fire provides fire service to areas of the cities of Orono and Medina by contractual agreement. The Fire Advisory Committee meets throughout the year to address contract-related items, particularly establishing the fire department's annual budget. 2 members of the council are appointed to this committee annually. An alternate can be appointed to serve as needed in the absence of one of the appointees. Mayor Minor and Councilmember Dyvek served on this committee in 2023 and 2024, and Councilmember Feldman was appointed to serve as an alternate. New for 2025, recognizing that the council is likely to have a lot of meetings and work ahead related to the future of fire department operations and contracts, Mayor Minor did suggest establishing 2 committees that would focus in specific areas. So the Fire Contract Negotiations Committee and a Fire District Discussions Committee. Staff is certainly supportive of this, as it would really offer an opportunity for the council to be working as a team. We recognize the time commitments that have been on the council's plate, especially the load carried particularly by Mayor Minor and Councilmember Dyvek over the last few years, who I know who have really taken on the lion's share of it. So this really offers an opportunity for the council to work together and to divide some of that and work collaboratively. So staff would be recommending the council appoint 2 members to both a Fire Contract Negotiations Committee and a Fire District Discussions Committee. Fire Relief Board of Trustees. We have to appoint a city council member. City Administrator Wesky is a member of that, as is Fire Chief Highland. As a de facto member, Councilmember Feldman held the elected official position in 2024. So we can either reappoint him if he desires to continue serving, or we can appoint a new elected official. Utility Agreement Subcommittee. The 2 council members appointed to this subcommittee would be working with staff through the process of reviewing past utility agreements and in the continued negotiation and development of a new joint master utility agreement between the cities of Long Lake and Orono for those Orono properties that are connected to Long Lake water and/or sewer. We've been appointing members to this committee over the last few years. The group hasn't necessarily met with any regularity and didn't meet at all last year, but there may be some momentum moving forward to begin revisiting those agreements, and so we would recommend going ahead and appointing 2 council members to that position in the event that we have an opportunity to begin revisiting those agreements and doing some cleanup for the benefit of all parties involved, because I think there are areas of those agreements that could use a little cleaning up for all of us. Also new for 2025, Human Resources Subcommittee. Mayor Miner and Councilmember Dybek have suggested establishing a Human Resources Subcommittee to begin focusing on starting reviewing some wage survey data for the city's employee positions and making recommendations to the council on salary range adjustments and updates where warranted, to ensure there's a system in place for staff performance evaluations and employee recognition, and to potentially work cooperatively with staff on HR-related updates and projects in the future. Staff's recommending that 2 council members and staff members, maybe 2, maybe 1, whatever you want to give some thought to. That maybe doesn't necessarily need to be decided tonight, but that they be appointed to this new subcommittee. One of the things we wanted to include, just for everyone's benefit, to make just this real easy, was a brief review of staffing structure. So we also included just a very brief organizational chart that basically sets forth, you know, the city administrator responds to the city council. We have 4 administrative staff or department heads that all respond to the city administrator, and a few, a couple of those department heads have staff who respond to them. And so we just kind of wanted to document that in a brief little chart, especially for the benefit of an incoming new council member who might not be aware of what those position titles were and who they have underneath them. So I just wanted to put that to paper for you. A bunch of easier ones here. Park Board Liaison, council member appointed to that position would attend Park Board meetings and report back to the council. Same concept with the Planning Commission Liaison, also same concept with the Chamber of Commerce Liaison. Again, council members appointed to attend those meetings and report back. Same as well with the Long Lake Waters Association Liaison. Long Lake Garden Club Liaison. In that capacity, I think that individual wouldn't just be, kind of reporting back, but also would act as kind of a key communication point between the garden club and between staff. Councilmember Qualley held that position in 2024. Lake Minnetonka Communications Commission, we are seeking a resident for that. It has always been a very difficult position to fill, and the resident who held it for years has resigned. He was actually very passionate about communication, so it was wonderful to have him enthusiastically involved. He had some life changes and stepped away from the position. We haven't had another resident step up in that capacity, but Councilmember Qualley has done a great job representing the council, and we do need to appoint a council member to continue to be a member of the LMCC, and food for thought, if Councilmember Qualley is so interested in continuing, we might want to think about that. The Highway 12 Safety Coalition, that's really more of an awareness item, I think. We want to continue to maintain awareness, I think, of what the group is discussing. I don't think we're necessarily expecting that members appointed to that attend, but at least maybe be aware of what's on their agenda so you continue to receive them. The 2 council members are invited to be appointed to that committee. It typically meets twice a year at a minimum. I think we'd recommend appointing at least 1. Mayor Miner and Councilmember Feldman served in that capacity in 2024. Again, whether you attend the meetings or not, I think for us it's more of it can be beneficial just to be aware of what's on their agendas for projects that affect commuters that are traveling to and through Long Lake. So safety projects that are happening at points west of us. Wayzata Crime Prevention Coalition, a council liaison. Mayor Miner has continued to serve as a liaison on behalf of the council for years 2023 and 2024. So the council member appointed to that position in 2025 would attend the meetings on the second Tuesday of the month at 7:30 a.m. and report on that group's activities back to the city council. A new one that we actually added, but has always been ongoing, has been formal documentation of what we refer to as the mayor's group, the Northwest Hennepin League of Municipalities. That group meets on the second Wednesday of each month at 6:30. It's a group of elected officials, primarily mayors, who represent cities in their coverage area, and through education and networking to achieve better results within their respective cities. Mayor Miner has been representing Long Lake and is also a member of the group's executive committee. He did mention by email to me that he would welcome the appointment of a fellow council member as an alternate to attend in his absence. And he recommended Councilmember Dyvek, if you have an interest, that you might make it, especially as Mayor Pro Tem, you might make a great alternate as a suggestion point. So the others are all on this list are really pending their first organizational meetings, which will be related to business and related to recruiting in the situation of the park board. So planning commission chair and chair pro tem, park board chair and secretary, EDA chair and vice chair, those will come in time. Those are to be determined.
Are any planning commission positions up, their terms are up this,
I am revisiting that.
okay.
Okay.
So at least we have the first appointment penciled in.
The first one is penciled in, correct?
What was the first one?
Pro temp.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay. All right, well, let's talk about some of them. I think the fire ones might be the big ones to get through, since we've got a new one and we want to try to spread it out. We have a new.
Two new ones, right?
Well, you're right, two new, I guess two fire ones. A new council member now, Todd Newcomer, of course, who's got some fire, quite a bit of fire background in his career, so it'll be a good fit there. So some thoughts that I had was on the Fire Advisory Committee. I know Councilmember Dyvek's been serving on that for many, many years. I thought it would be good to get Councilmember Newcomer involved in the Fire Advisory Committee now. So I'm willing to, I think maybe Todd is maybe an automatic, and then maybe between you and I, John, we can decide, but if you want to continue to do it, that's fine by me, or.
Well, let's talk about the other two committees before we finalize that one.
Okay,
Does
that's
that
a
make
good idea.
sense?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
would Todd be interested in doing this?
Well, we should probably back, sure.
No, absolutely.
Are you free quarter?
I'm used to being talked about.
Yeah, no, good point, John, because then there's a negotiating committee, and I thought that you and I would be best suited to continue to be on that, because we've been heavily involved in that the last couple of years, and no sense kind of starting over on that one per se.
What are your thoughts on the district committee?
And then, the district,
Todd?
open for that one. I think Todd would be a natural fit, and then maybe, either you or I on that one there, so maybe either one of us does fire advisory, and then one of us does district discussions, and kind of mix it up that way. So I don't know if you have a preference. or-
Well, then we're leaving Deirdre and Mike out.
Well,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, and Charlie basically, I think he copied my paper here. No, it feels like we had one group for fire. It was you and Charlie, and we're dividing that into three. We also have a huge amount of expertise in you two, and then also bringing in Todd. I like your proposal with, I was thinking Todd and John on the FAB, and then Charlie, John on the contract, and then Todd, and then one of you two on the district is what my gut is. I don't know, Deirdre, if you have any.
Excuse me, I understand why you're dividing this up, because you want to kind of limit
Yeah.
the commitment.
I was thinking too.
But I also understand if it's too parsed, it's going to be difficult to make decisions and kind of have some sort of consensus and negotiate if everybody has a different role.
Oh, so keep a smaller group?
I think so,
Yeah, I think so too. I agree with you, Charlie, that I think you and I ought to be on the negotiation committee, just because we've been there so long and we have a lot of history.
You know the facts very
Yeah,
well.
and then I would prefer, I guess if I were to choose, I would prefer the Fire Advisory Board for myself, and then Todd,
Yeah.
and
I
then
think
you
that's-
on the district with Todd,
Okay, sure. I think that's a really good combination.
if that's okay with you.
Absolutely,
You good with that, Todd?
absolutely.
All right. Great. That one's so tough.
And then what
And then
about
an alternate, I
yeah.
guess. So then I suppose I could be an alternate on the fire advisory unless somebody else wanted to do it? Or,
I like that.
okay.
So the three of you.
You know, Charlie, I could be an alternate if you don't, but I would be kind of an alternate coming in without a lot of background information and facts. But if you are trying to limit how involved you are,
Sure.
I can be an alternate.
No, I appreciate that. I mean, it's only 4 times a year roughly, and so
Okay.
probably unlikely that, to be needed. So I'm okay with it. But if you want to, if you're
No,
interested
that's-
in diving in- Okay.
Well,
okay.
if you get into trouble, give me a call.
Yes, we'll do that. Call 911 on the fire phone.
Just so,
there.
and maybe you know this already, Todd, but the Fire Advisory Board, as he said, meets at least 4 times a year. And the big push is in August, we have to come with a recommended budget for the following year. And so we spend time reviewing that and going through the, just kind of line by line on that, so.
All right, so you got those 3 captured so far, Jeanette?
I believe I do.
Excellent. All right, Long Lake Fire Relief Board of Trustees. So I know Councilmember Feldman has served in this role the last couple of years. It's not as much operational issues as it is with their relief association and their pension and managing their funds, and they come to the city for requests to raise their funds or raise their annual benefit amount. So I know.
I'm happy to do it unless somebody else wants to.
I think you're particularly well suited for that role.
Yeah.
Okay. Pressure's on, I gotta.
Yeah. I
Based
agree.
on your
I
background.
agree. All right, Utility Agreement Subcommittee, that's been Councilmember Qualley and I for the last time we met, which was several years ago.
Or was it Mike too? Did he?
Yeah, I thought it was Mike and
We're doing
That'd be
it?
news to me.
Okay, so it was you and
I
I?
think it was, yeah.
Okay.
this one might get some traction this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Because it might be
I think so,
that it's a good time to negotiate everything.
Yeah.
I
So
like
I think
that.
you'd be really good on that for sure with your legal background, and if you're up for it, and then, I can do it, but if anybody else is interested in talking about sewer and water connections, then.
Yeah. An extraordinarily boring topic, by the way. But no, I like the 2 of you on it. I think you're probably best suited for that.
Well, there's
Okay.
11 different agreements, right, Scott? That
Maybe 12,
maybe, yeah,
13.
that we'd like to
Depends
clean
on the
up
day.
if we could.
Does that include waste management?
Not exactly, just sewer specifically.
Connections, water connections.
Yeah,
So,
some
Deirdre,
minor and quality on that one. All right, Human Resources Subcommittee, so this is kind of a newer one that Jeanette mentioned. I guess just, open it up. Anybody have an interest in doing this one, or any suggestions?
I mean, I'm happy to help with that. I mean, I think there's gonna be a component of gathering a boatload of data, and Scott's given me a bunch, and I've thus far not been able to put that together, but I think there's gonna be a part of that I think I could help out on.
Great, okay. And then, anyway, we do want to try to get Todd on some things here too, if that's,
I'd be more than willing to help
Public.
out with that since we're in close proximity to chatting.
All right, happy
Okay,
with that.
that's okay with that one. Okay. All right, and then as far as, staff goes, I don't know if you guys want to discuss it amongst yourselves, or if you want the council to kind of pick, or open first. I know I did receive an email from Amanda that she was interested in being a staff representative, and I know maybe you are as well as Jeanette, so that certainly
She
works.
definitely would If I were making a recommendation, she would definitely be an excellent one, just particularly with her knowledge of payroll law and all the, what you can and can't do. She stays very on top of all of that and is well aware of all the changes that have come down the pike over the last few years as far as what you can and can't do, and changes to benefit packages and changes to pay structures and this, that, and the other. And so she would be an excellent candidate.
Yeah, she'd be great. I mean, and obviously be a role for Scott in this as well. I don't, the different parts, so it can
Yep.
be.
And
so-
I don't know, Scott, if you had any interest in it.
I don't know if it's just, I end up being de facto, but not a huge deal. Whatever. I mean,
Right, kind of like de facto kind of a thing, so, yeah. All right, why don't you?
I would say if you were gonna be on as a de facto, then my recommendation for another one would, if Amanda has an interest, she would be my recommendation probably.
Agree. Okay.
So I guess the question, would you and Jeanette, or Jeanette and Amanda be on it, and then I attend when needed? Is that kind of how you want to look at it, or?
Well, if you are on it as a de facto, then, I mean, that's two staff members. I mean, if you're attending, I guess what would be your intent? Do you envision yourself attending all meetings, or would you prefer to only?
I'm just knowing that I have 99% of the data. I'm just
Yes.
wondering how much more work I'd be doing if I wasn't part of the team. Like, what's the intent?
What do you prefer?
Or how much work would everybody else be doing if you have the data?
That's what I'm saying, is they're asking me to give it to them.
Right.
So, that's what I'm saying, is like,
Do you
what's the
prefer an
intent?
active role, or do you prefer to just pop in once in a while?
I'm fine with being part of the active role. I do think with the things that we need to be working on, I think it needs to come from top down.
Yeah, and I don't think there needs to, it's not like a quorum, so I don't think
Right.
Right.
we have to.
Right, we
limit
don't
it
have a
to
quorum
two.
issue with staff, exactly.
Right, so I think 3 would be fine, and maybe it's 2 sometimes, 3 some others, so, yeah, we'll just trust you guys to work it out and
Yep.
find the best solution. All right, next, Park Board Liaison, so Councilmember Joyce did a great job doing that the last 4 years or so now there's a vacancy there. So Park Board meets how often, more sporadically, right?
More sporadically.
Yeah.
They begin meeting typically more in the spring months, March to April. And then meet pretty much through the holiday tree lighting. They meet pretty much through November, and then they put on the holiday tree lighting in December. But they don't actually meet in December. And
Okay.
then they don't meet December, January, February for sure.
What kind of vacancies are on the park board?
A couple.
Okay.
So we're gonna send out kind of a, once we get the planning commission figured out, kind of a. here's
A
our
lot of them,
openings.
actually. We're working on a few of them.
Okay.
Yep.
So was the
Um,
leadership, did they vacate the,
That was part of it. Suzanne Caswell,
It's
moving, is moving. Thomas Joyce
Joyce
moved.
yeah?
Yeah. I do have, one pending that I'm working on. I need to make some introductions and continue to encourage that individual. And hopefully I'll get an application over the goal line there. We'll see.
Well, I wouldn't mind being on the park board liaison just because, I know,
When they do meet, they meet on Monday nights at 5:30. It's about an hour, hour and a half.
okay. The only reason is, because there could be some synergy with the garden club or just kind of cooperation with some of the other, people committing and volunteering time to the community.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Okay.
So you're saying you want to do the garden club too, then?
That's what I heard.
I got it here.
I might be penciling it in.
I will do the garden club.
Well,
Oh my gosh.
fine,
Okay.
fine with that.
So Deirdre on both park board and,
Unless you really want to do the garden club, John.
No, I don't, but I was going to say that the garden club, as Jeanette pointed out, is more than just a liaison. It's maybe doing some management,
Yeah.
management of people, I.
Creating enthusiasm and.
Well, that or just, yeah, I think they're,
Yeah, I think Deirdre has some ideas, and so does, talking with Jeanette and stuff too. I think there's some thoughts there, so you can certainly give input as well to them. Okay, great. We just nailed off two there, checked off two. All right, Planning Commission liaison, that has been Councilmember Feldman. Are you,
Happy to do it unless somebody else wants to jump into that.
okay,
All right.
thank you. We'll keep it as that then.
and there, and on there may or may not be some openings, is that what I heard?
I'm working through a review of all terms as I'm prepping a release
Okay.
to put out.
And our policy is now not to just automatically renew somebody, but rather post a position, or what is our,
No, technically, our ordinance actually binds us to have them submit their intent, to have incumbent appointments basically say, hey, I'd like to continue in this position.
Request to be reappointed.
Yeah, so yes, that is on the list of ordinance changes, I know.
I
We have a
don't- yeah.
very long list,
I don't
I
agree.
know. I know, we have a very long list of ordinance projects. What's really interesting, of course, is that that's in the zoning ordinance. Find new projects all the time.
The one thing about if you have continuity, you do have
Yeah,
a good knowledge.
That
base.
one I think we're gonna actually tackle this year, because there's some,
I agree, if you have continuity, then we would recognize that, and then we would reappoint. But I
Right.
don't think it should be a rubber stamp.
Yeah.
That somebody just gets to,
I would agree with that. I do actually agree with that. I think that they could, we don't necessarily need to have them submit an application, but I think we can welcome applications and have them submit a letter and have that be considered the same.
oh,
As
as
a
other
series of
applications.
applications.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine
Yes.
with that.
Yes.
I'm just saying, in the past, it hasn't been open to other applications, which I think,
Yes, my intent would be to rewrite it to be open to applications, and to eliminate some very outdated references. So that one I think we can actually get done this year, along with a council member or a city council change we need to make. So, related to salaries.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
So Mike we appointed Mike?
Planning Commission.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
so
Yep.
What's that?
you're gonna be planning commission? again?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
Garden
as well.
Club. I'm just kidding. All right, so Chamber, Chamber of Commerce. Did you want to, you've done that already? Did you want to keep doing it, or?
Sure, I can keep doing it.
Okay, appreciate that. Long Lake Waters Association, so that had been Councilmember Joyce before? Okay,
Kind of taking her spot. I don't mind doing that.
wow,
Unless
okay.
there's,
Yeah, if you're up for it,
Yeah.
sure, okay.
I can swim.
That would be great. All right, so talked about Garden Club already. Is Deirdre? All right, it's a couple left here.
The end is in sight.
Yes, yes. Lake Minnetonka Cable Communication Commissioners. A council member representative, or to be actually a member of the commission. So Deirdre, you'd been doing that before. Did you want to?
Sure, I'm on the executive committee,
Oh, that's right. Okay.
so I can continue.
Okay.
Actually, we have a meeting this week.
Nice. Okay. All right. Sounds good. And then we're working on a resident member. We can put out our annual solicitation on that. Highway 12 Safety Coalition. And so Councilmember Feldman was our primary last year, and I was kind of the secondary.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it is more west. The discussion is a lot more west. That said, it has been helpful just to talk to people there. So I think it is something that's probably useful for us to stay engaged with, but it is very much the focus for the west. And just the topics. That's something that you may be interested in, Todd. We want to tag team that one?
Yeah.
Safety.
Unless you.
No, that would be okay. It's always challenging for me to fit that in my work schedule,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, and it's in Delano, and the times are sometimes goofy, so,
I like Goofy.
all right.
4 o'clock.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing, right? 3, I think it's maybe
Yeah.
3. And our Wayzata Police Chief is usually represented there as well, which has been helpful. All right, and speaking of Wayzata Police, Wayzata Crime Prevention Coalition. So I've been doing that for the last several years, along with, and as I mentioned in our last meeting, we had resident Tim Holtman serve 11 years on the Crime Prevention Coalition, and recently retired from that, and has been really replaced by Brian Miller, so thank you, Brian, for that. As
How
well
about
as Mark
The
Schaefer.
LMCC, Brian.
I can't hear you all the way.
So I'm happy to continue to do that unless somebody else wants to do that one. All right, and then we already talked about having Councilmember Dybek as an alternate on the Northwest Hennepin League of Municipalities if I'm unable to attend that one. So with that, and then I'm more than happy to give up the weed inspector duties to anybody who wants to be the
I
weed
don't
inspector.
think
We didn't
you
talk about that
can.
one. Oh, darn, darn.
Hey,
I
Charlie,
think
to
as
be the
mayor,
weed
you
inspector.
are the de facto assistant weed inspector.
Shoot, I try that one every year. All right. All right, Jeanette, do you think you have all of the ones that we listed?
I do. If you would like, I would be happy to read aloud a summary of the motion for a council member to potentially make.
That's right, we need a motion on this. Sure, okay, please do.
Okay. I think what we're looking for tonight then is a motion to adopt the City of Long Lake 2025 appointments worksheet, including the following appointments. Councilmember Dybek to the position of Mayor Pro Tempore. Councilmembers Dybek and Newcomer to the Fire Advisory Committee with Mayor Minor as alternate. Mayor Minor and Councilmember Dybek to the Fire Contract Negotiations Committee. Mayor Minor and Councilmember Newcomer to the Fire District Discussions Committee. Councilmember Feldman and City Administrator Weskey to the Long Lake Fire Relief Board of Trustees. Councilmember Qualley and Mayor Minor to the Utility Agreements Subcommittee. Councilmembers Feldman and Newcomer and staff members, let's see, Amanda Noeski and Scott Weskey, that rhymes, to the Human Resources Subcommittee. Councilmember Qualley as the Park Board Liaison. Councilmember Feldman as the Planning Commission Liaison. Councilmember Qualley as the Chamber of Commerce Liaison. Councilmember Newcomer as the Long Lake Waters Association Liaison. Councilmember Qualley as the Long Lake Garden Club Liaison. Councilmember Qualley to the Lake Minnetonka Communications Commission. Councilmembers Feldman and Newcomer to the Highway 12 Safety Coalition. Mayor Minor as the Wayzata Crime Prevention Coalition Liaison. And Mayor Minor to the Northwest Hennepin League of Municipalities with Councilmember Dybek as alternate.
I'd like to make that motion.
Second that.
All right, thank you. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Thanks for everybody for stepping up to the plate here. Not only do we meet here twice a month and work sessions as well, but these take up a fair amount of our time as well and are big commitments. So I appreciate everybody spreading the load here and everybody kind of doing their part to participate. All right, so motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, thank you, Jeanette. Thanks for sprucing that one up a bit this year, adding a couple more to it. Okay, we'll move on to item 8, other business. We'll go around the table here. We'll start with Councilmember Newcomer. Anything you want to bring up tonight? Any new business?
No, I just want to say thank you to the community, everybody who voted, and for everybody here, staff and everybody for welcoming me so nicely. I look forward to working with everybody, the community and all of you folks.
That's great. Thanks, Todd. Welcome. Great to have you. Be a great part of the team. So, all right, Councilmember Feldman.
Yes, welcome, Todd. And there was one thing that came up on Highway 12. Charlie and I had already talked about it. There was some confusion with the police call about certain roads that the state is covering and how things are being dispatched. And there was a lot of police talk that I told Charlie he should follow up, because there seemed to be some confusion, and nothing, as far as I understand, hurt the response necessarily, but you could see if there's confusion in how things are being dispatched, that could be problematic. And I was able to talk to Orono Police, and they're in the discussion with the state on that. So I think things are moving in the right direction. Just it's good for us to be aware of that as well.
Great. All right, thank you, Mike. Councilmember Dybek.
I just want to say welcome to Todd Newcomer as well, and Happy New Year to everybody. I thought 2025 we were going to have flying cars, but
And jetpacks.
we didn't quite meet my childhood expectations, but I'm hopeful for a good year ahead.
Great, thanks, John. Looking forward to working with all of you again and having Todd as part of the crew. As I mentioned in the last meeting at the end of December, we have a really great council, and we'll continue to have a great council. And we tackled a lot over the last few years, and we'll continue to tackle more. So appreciate all of you, and look at that cooperation we had as we were figuring out all those assignments and how well that went. So that's great. I want to thank my family for being here tonight, for seeing me be sworn in for the fourth term and losing count as mayor. And so my wife Andrea here, and daughter Lauren, and son Carson, and daughter's boyfriend Alex, who's also on the Lund Lake Fire Department. So thank you all for being here tonight, and again for other members who join us. Thank you to staff. Has anybody noticed anything different in the council chambers this evening?
Clock.
Yes. It's only taken me 4 elections, and I finally was able to convince staff to buy a new clock. No, I just as my eyes have gotten older over the years, I was having a hard time squinting at that old hand clock in the wall in the corner there. So we got that one off of Amazon for a good price, and it's like easy to see.
It's like 500 font.
Yes, plenty big.
Fonts matter.
So thank you for that, Jeanette, and thanks for always interested in getting that Holbrook Park position out. So we're getting a little cold spell here, so hopefully it'll be good. Ice was looking pretty good last week, and getting a little freezing and warming cycles going on, but looked like it was in decent shape. All right, so that's it for me. Deirdre.
Want to echo what everybody else said. Welcome, Todd. And other than that, nothing else for me.
You guys said it all, so that's the best part of being at the end. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Jeanette.
Just a couple items.
Sure.
I promised Mandy that I would mention, just as a reminder, we do have a quorum notice posted for any council members who want to attend the meeting on Friday morning coming up here at 9 a.m. We'll be at the fire station with representatives from Met Council Environmental Services about their wastewater treatment charges and that wonderful big hefty bill that seems to keep getting bigger and bigger all the time. So might be a good opportunity to kind of put the screws to them about that calculation process. And our city engineer is going to be there, which is wonderful. I believe Sean will be there as well. Scott, I think.
Okay.
I believe you're going to be there too. So the more the merrier. It's been noticed. You are welcome to all attend if you choose. I know there's a bit of a conflict with another meeting that morning, but for anyone who can be there, by all means, feel free. It's noticed for you. Yes, and then Mandy and I also are trying to test out the technology waters. We have a new check scanner we're going to be testing out to try to join the world of remote deposit and see if we can't help automate another part of our jobs a little bit further and save ourselves some trips to the bank by improving that deposit process for utility bills now that we're kind of in this monthly world of things and a lot more deposits. So testing out a little technology. And last but not least, welcome aboard, Councilmember Newcomer. We've enjoyed working with you so far as a resident, and we continue to look forward to working with you. And one last note for the new Human Resources Subcommittee. Mandy and I have actually started working on a new employee handbook, and I mentioned this to City Administrator Wersky here a little bit ago. We are hoping to have a first draft of that wrapped in the next couple of months here. We were working on it pretty aggressively. Everything had to get put on hold once absentee voting for the primary started, because then the rat race began heading into the general after that, pretty much immediately. But it was based on the latest League of Minnesota Cities model handbook. So it incorporated all the latest and greatest as it applies to, earn safe and sick time and all the new payroll laws. So hopefully that'll be a better base to start from. We plan to have a deliverable before first quarter is over for Administrator Wersky and for our city attorney to review. So we'll be able to put that in your hands.
Great. Good updates there. Thanks, Jeanette, for that. And right, on Friday, if anybody wants to attend that meeting, feel free. Councilmember Diva and I have a conflict.
Oh, we do.
What's that?
I thought we were gonna be managing both.
We should be able to
I'm
do
planning on
that,
being there,
yeah.
so.
Nice, okay.
I'm
Great.
planning on being in there.
Good.
I hope so.
Thanks to Manon for setting that up.
Will either one of you be there or not?
At 9 o'clock, yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah.
I actually have a 9 o'clock doctor's appointment in Plymouth,
Because,
unfortunately.
I mean, there was a question,
With the wastewater charge.
yeah, I know, but the fact that didn't Long Lakes go up when other surrounding communities went down or stayed flat or something? I guess that's gonna be the discussion, right? That-
Right. It's all gonna be boat flows. Majority of it's gonna be boat flows.
All right, last call for other business. Our next meeting will be on Tuesday, January 21st. Still, I think staff's still debating on a work session and start time on that. And that'll be the day after Martin Luther King Day, I believe, so. All right, if there's no objection then, I'll adjourn the meeting by general consent. Hearing none, meeting is adjourned at 7:31 PM. Have a good night.
Where's your sticker?
Oh, they have them.
Oh, I need one of those.